me just start out by saying this. A new California law allows jail time for healthcare workers for using the wrong gender pronoun. Meanwhile, a man who was illegally in the country and had been deported 5 times has been acquitted of murdering an American woman in cold blood. You see, in 2015, a homeless man who I won't care to mention found a gun, so happened to find a gun, and ended up playing with it according to his account. But within a couple of minutes after he was toying around with it, he fired the gun on accident. The bullet then found its way to Kate Steinle, a babe of an American woman who at 32 had all her life ahead of her. Kate was walking with her family when she was shot, and her last words were to her father after she was shot, pleading for help. Now, as tragic and as sad as this sounds, you would think that the Californian government would lock this guy up for the rest of his living days. Well, guess what? The pansy jury that was composed of all libtards, because of course the city in which this happened to happen in just so happened to be the liberal hellhole of San Francisco, and competent jurors are hard to come by, found the defendant innocent. Now the story doesn't end here. When prosecutors asked the killer why he had chosen San Francisco as a place to come back to after so many times of being deported, the killer simply said because he knew that it was a sanctuary city. You see, liberals will argue and tell you that there are a lot of crimes that happen by Americans to Americans in America. But that's not the case here. Since when is it okay to go to China, kill one of their citizens there, and get acquitted? You see, the Chinese won't even let you get away with shoplifting without having Trump come over there to bail you out. And so what about America? Aren't we the greatest country on earth? Are our laws not protected? Since when is it okay for cities to not cooperate with immigration officials? When did that ever happen? All of a sudden, mayors like Ed Lee, who is as corrupt as they come, and a communist, I might add, because he sure as hell isn't a Democrat, dictate who gets to stay and who gets to leave. Who the hell does he think he is, along with all his pansy mayor friends spread all over the nation, including here in Denver? Let me just tell you this. All liberals love the name safe space. Safe space. You see, it's the same thing as the word hideout. Because, hey, guess what? You broke the rules by budging in line in front of the millions and millions, if not a billion, immigrants who have been legally waiting for years. But hey, guess what? You could come to our cities where we have soft mayors who are too much of pansies and soy boys and too preoccupied trying to turn this country into the United Socialist States of America. Hey, guess what, mayors? You are already ruining our cities with your increasing dependency on welfare and your so-called safety net by your citizens. Why don't you just allow illegal immigrants to come into our country and murder us? Oh, that's right. You already are. To the families of Kate Steinle, I hope that you find comfort in the memories of your daughter and your sister. I hope that God will give you guidance, strength, perseverance to continue in your faith and to find peace in these troubling times. That does it for me, but before I go, I would just like to say the following. Regardless of what CNN and all the other media sites say, us young Americans can't wait to turn this country back into the God-fearing nation that it once was, where laws were actually respected. And this is the same exact reason why I make these videos, because to not do this would be a disservice to the many, many, many young Americans who, just like me, they believe in defending this country's founding ideals, the very same ideals that make the American dream still possible. You see, I still believe that America is the last superpower standing, because there are still men who pray for the leaders of this country, who know that the conservative ideals will return to prominence. And there are still men on our front lines that are prepared to come home in a coffin with the American flag draped on it.